Hello everyone, welcome back to Indiethon. I missed you. Did you miss me? I don't know. We'll still carry on. We still have over here SloshW who's gonna play this time Lenna's Inception with the perfect ending, blind seated. I'm not exactly sure what all of those words mean, but I'm sure they'll explain that to you. So if you want to take it away, go right ahead.
Alright, thank you. Hey everyone, I'm Slosh, again. This is Lenna's Inception. It's indie roguelike with a pretty cool randomization twist to it. Not everything in the game gets randomized, but a good almost all of it does. So I am going to hop into the run and explain things as we go. So, going to do the seed Indiethon, and I'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so in that first room of the game, I can tell what the boss order is going to be. In each dungeon in this game, there will be a dungeon item that we need to move around the world a little bit easier, and there will also be a boss that is tied to that item. And the order of... It's dangerous to go alone, by the way. The order in which the students in Lenna's classroom are sitting gives away the boss order and the dungeon item order. The bosses and items in Dungeons 1 and 8 are always the same, so we don't need to worry about those, but... Okay, not that way. But the good thing is there's one really good item early. The only bad thing is it's... Each dungeon boss has, except for, again, 1 and 8, has both a 1-phase or a 2-phase version. Also, I need to be careful or else I'm going to die in the first item room of the game. These skeletons are messing me up. Okay, now I've got them cornered. Dungeons 1, 2, and 3 all are 1-phase boss fights. 4 through 8 are 2-phase. So the boss in Dungeon 1 is always going to have 1-phase. Boss in Dungeon 8 always has 2. But we've got the longest 2-phase fight, I think, out of all of the bosses as a 1-phase, which is really, really nice. I am going to... Where is the library? Okay. I'm going to run up here and see what kind of tunic Andres has to sell for me today. Fire resistance. Not bad. Not the best, but I will gladly take it. The two types of tunics that we really wanted to get from that would be either strength or speed. Speed's yep. Strength doubles your attack. They're just so good. But fire resistance is going to help for a little sort of like mini dungeon arena thing. So the person that we just talked to is Paige. She's the librarian. She tells us where the dungeons are. I think I need to go back this way. She also says, hey, if you find any missing overdue library books, could you collect them and bring them to me, please? So we are going to be doing that because perfect ending. We are going to need to get 8 very special items that we will be using to spare the dungeon bosses. And we can only get one of those if we find page 12 out of the 16 missing library books. 4 of them are always in the same place. Let's just knock that guy into the water. Speed that up. But 8 of the books are going to be randomly shuffled up, and we're going to have to find 2 of them on this screen. That's handy. I'll try and go up and around, see if that's the way the game wants me to go. So the item that I got from Dungeon 2, that is definitely not the right way, is the lighter. The lighter shoots out a little fire projectile that does damage to enemies and also gives us a huge dash. So, okay, there's book number 3. Loving all these books just dropping randomly on screens. Gonna check this screen for a book. So, getting the lighter early, especially if you don't have a speed tunic, is very nice. The only downside to getting it before Dungeon 4 is the boss in the lighter dungeon is, I think, the shortest second phase out of all of the bosses. Like, as soon as it enters the second phase, you can just end the fight. But, fortunately, you can, at least in Perfect Ending, you can spare that boss fairly early on the first phase, which is going to be nice. But now we are looking for... I'm gonna see if this is the map in this room. It is. Sweet. Okay, so I need to go back. I need to go back here. Looks like the boss is straight up from the start, which is going to be nice. Because of a certain item that we are going to get later in this run. It looks like I need to beat up all these skeletons and then go up one, right one. Skeletons are brutal today. I usually do not lose this much health in the first 3 dungeons to skeletons alone. Gotta stay sharp. Okay, that's a red crab. You know, I've sort of stopped paying attention to what the different colored enemy types do in the item rooms. I'm pretty sure red is increased attack, though. So getting hit by that crab would have been very bad. I do know that brown is explosion, and pink is hovering, and green is healing. So I guess I lied. I do remember more than I gave myself credit for. So I just went inside of that fancy little building, which is the office, to set a warp point. That is something that we are going to need for a trading quest line later. Could I get... I could. Okay, sweet. Looking at this, I'm not thrilled about where the bridge to the east half of the island is going to be. Getting to it might be a little bit of a doozy. But now we're in the Bankers Guild. The 4th dungeon is inside the Bankers Guild. But we need this very bad guy, the chairman of the bank, to drop us into the dungeon. And now that we're in Dungeon 4... Oh no, is this a forest? Yep. This is not a good layout either. Reason why I say it's not a good layout is... Once you reach Dungeon 4 onward, every dungeon will have a secret room that has a very special item in it. That is actually really good information that the boss is straight up from the start. Again. Can I go anywhere from here? Down. Wait, I could go left. Almost didn't catch that. Forest dungeons in... I'm not supposed to be here. It's fine. I can... apparently, if you... I didn't actually know that if you warp to a room that is blocked off by the dungeon's item, you just sort of warp to the center of it and can skip, that barrier. That is really good information to have. Given how much I've run this game, I am surprised that I didn't know that. Okay, okay, wait. I got an extra freaking column, which means I know exactly where the item room is, the secret item room is in this dungeon, which is really nice because this layout mixed with being a forest dungeon is usually very bad. But there's only one room that it can be off of because of where the column is. So that is very nice information. Might backtrack to that dungeon first. Got the strength amulet from dungeon number 4, which lets us pick up heavy things. Did I just like walk over a corner? Where do you want me to go, though, game? I'm trying to figure this out. Alright, let's... I can't go right from there. Let's go down and see what happens. This is, what I would call an interesting overworld layout. I think I need to, like, warp over to Dungeon 2, go this way, and then up and see what happens. Not up. Definitely not up. Sometimes the overworld likes to do a little bit of trolling, and that is exactly what it is doing right now. Let's try going down, and then over, and then up, and then over. This should put me in a, yeah, in a better spot for moving around. Never mind. What in the world? I did find on that screen, though, one of the NPCs for the trading quest line that we are going to need to find, which is the thirsty person. And I got another book out of this, so that's still pretty good. Alright, warp back here. Oh, you know what? I think I know now where to go, because I remember this screen was blocked off by something that you can only pick up once you have strength. So now, I should be able to make it without any issues to the bridge, which will take us to the east side of the island. One thing that I'm very happy about with how this has gone so far, though, is a lot of books have been found in biomes that usually it's kind of tricky to find books in, and also 2 of the NPCs out of 4 that we need on the west side of the island for side quests have been found, which is very nice. So the chairman's gonna throw money at his problems, and then we're gonna meet this guy. His name's Delvin. He's gonna be important later. He's actually important right now because he's going to program into our phone the locations of the final 4 dungeons. Down and right. This is fortunately a very fast getting into Dungeon 5. I did not really pay attention to the order of the bosses at the start of the run for the east side. Honestly, that's not really that important. You only really need to pay attention to which bosses you're going to have as one-phase fights, and then also I am blanking on it. Where the lighter is going to be, because the lighter is just such a powerful item to have. Game is going to force me to pick up the lasso, which is never used. Alright. So, using the strength bracelet, amulet, whatever it is, you can pick up snails and throw them against the walls, instantly defeating them, which saves a lot of time. Alright, so now we've got the spring, which means we can jump. Now we are going to leave. Okay, so probably going to need to go up and over and then hopefully just Okay, no, it's not. Of course it's not going to be that straightforward. It is going to be this straightforward, though. At least I think. Another book. Nice. How many books do I have now? 6. Oh, and here's another location that I need to find for the side quests, the status effects shop. Those two guys are like, hey, our sister Tressa helps us with the shop, but she's not come back. Can you help us find her? So we agree, of course. But we're not going to find her immediately. Actually, Tressa is going to give us one of the side quest items, and that is the last side quest item that we are going to get. Of course, that's just a meteor. I was hoping that it was going to be the map, but the meteor likes to do a bit of trolling. Okay, so this dungeon is going to give us the bow. And now these little puzzles to open up the doors are going to get a little bit more complex. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to do this one. Nope. Didn't mean to push it up that far. Alright. Oh, nice. Usually Dungeon 6 and 7, getting to the item room is locked behind finding at least one key, but fortunately, this time, that is not the case. Where is Dungeon 7? That is very far away. There's one more side quest NPC I'm hoping to find before getting to Dungeon 8, and that is the woodcutter. Because if I can find the woodcutter and get the special item that he's going to give me before Dungeon 8, I will be able to do that boss fight well before the others, and I'll wear the defense tunic for now. And that really is only a big deal for, like, me specifically. I like getting the 8th dungeon's boss out of the way early, just for, like, making the rest of the boss rush less stressful, at least if I'm doing PB attempts in this game. Alright, just need to push that. Dungeon 7 is usually a little bit longer, because usually you need at least one, usually 2 keys, before finding the item, and unfortunately this is the dungeon that I'm going to get bombs. If I had bombs now, and this was like, say, the dungeon to get the spring, rooms that were locked behind defeating the gray crabs would go a lot faster, because gray crabs love to just dodge your sword even if you're swinging directly on them. But if they're up against a wall and you shoot the wall with a bomb arrow, they can't escape the explosion damage. So bomb arrows are super powerful against gray crabs. Fortunately, there's only been one room so far. Never mind. Of course I had to say something. I was about to say, there's only been one room locked behind any gray crabs, and then this room shows up that's got like 17 gray crabs. Alright, I should check the map also. Okay, we won't be in Dungeon 7 much longer. I'm already like halfway through the dungeon, which usually means either the green key or, well, this room's gonna have the green key. Unless, like, the game is doing some hardcore bamboozling right now. Take out the marshmallow, take out this gray crab, please be the green key, thank you. The biggest amount of trolling the game could do me right now, it's not going to do. I was going to say, right past that green door, it could have been the other way, was like the item room. But fortunately, that's not the case. Okay. Gonna guess that that's just... Where are you trying to take me, game? So now I'm trying to get to the... what is it called? The lab. That's what it's called. Also, there's the zoologist. We're going to need her later for one of the special items. So we're going to activate that, like, earthquake machine thing to drop into the top secret lab's basement. Jump across. Bomb arrow that guy. The snail was already defeated, and, like, the collision of the snail was still there, so I couldn't jump all the way across. That's another thing I've never seen before. It's already 2 things in less than 19 minutes of this run, at least IGT, that I've not seen, which is really remarkable. Alright, so this is Professor Maxwell. He ended up trapped in his basement, even though he could just jump over that one block that we had to push, because his assistant got angry at him for not taking his discoveries seriously, and turned the earthquake machine against him. And it turns out that his assistant is none other than Delvin, the guy that we met on the bridge. So yeah, Delvin is not a good guy. We're going to be finding out just how evil he is not too long. Let's see. Can I find the entrance? I'm not 100% sure which layout I got for Dungeon 8. There are 2 that it could be looking at the way this started. It's either, I think it's called Orb or Smile. Each dungeon number has, like, a set of layouts it can pull from, but then, like, what's in each room is completely randomized. And there are... Okay, there's the secret room. Alright, not the item we needed. Whichever layout it is that I got is one of the ones that I prefer in Dungeon 8, because there are two other layouts, one called UFO and one called LI, and those 2 are brutal. Okay, so got at least 8 books since we got the phone call from Paige. That's good to know. That one book that I got off of Professor Maxwell's bookshelf is one of the books that is always in the same spot. And looking at it, I'm probably going to need to get the other 3. I am going to beat up this skeleton jouster to see if there's a book here. Okay, that's very helpful. Now if I can find one more book, I won't actually necessarily need to get all 3, but they're, like, pretty easy to get, so... Now I don't have to worry about going out of my way to find an extra book, which is very nice. I have had runs on absolutely amazing pace before get killed by needing one more book and I just can't find it. So I'm very glad that the book count is doing nice and spiffy right about now. I'm gonna see if this room's got the map. Okay, the dungeon item should be right up ahead. I apparently cannot aim at that one skeleton jouster that is, like, right in my face. Alright, so the dungeon item for Dungeon 8 is going to be a little bit different, and is going to be really fun. And this is also a big reason why in endings where you have to defeat the bosses while you still leave the dungeons and then backtrack for the fights later. So, okay, here's an extra book. That's nice. Now I need to get to the palace. But, we got these glasses. They do this. So, this is entirely not only intentional that the glasses do this, but it is required to use the glasses' screen wrapping ability to defeat the game. The palace is completely jumbled up, and you can only get through it using the glasses. And also, most screens in the city you can only get through. Better late than never on the Strength Tunic. Strength Tunic is going to make, for one thing, this area of the palace a lot faster because I'm going to need one less hit on each of these enemies that I need to beat to open up the way to the end of the palace. But also there is a huge, like, battle arena thing that you have to go through called the Strange Cave, where you have to defeat 9 waves of enemies. I think it's 9. I hope I can count. And then you get one of the items that you need to spare a boss. The Strength Tunic is the best tunic for that by far. It saves so much time because you can just mow through enemies so much faster. So now that I've got the route through the palace opened up, now pretty much I'm going to just be running around both sides of the island looking for any of the NPCs for side quests that I'm missing. So I'm currently looking for the Traveling Merchant, the Woodcutter, and the Naked Bear on the east side. Let's go over here. But while I am looking around for these characters, now would actually be a great time for any messages from the host.
Fantastic! First of all, I do have a donation to read out, which was $25 donated by Level Up Leo, who said, Lenna's Inception is an amazing game, interested in seeing how a speedrun goes. Good luck to all the runners. Thank you so much for your donation, so appreciated. And just as a reminder, I also want to tell you that we do have an incentive for the run that is coming up currently. It's Love 3 by Heap on Wanna. You can choose between the classic and remastered game modes. So if that fancies... Wait, that was a saying, right? If you want to see that thing be changed between classic or remastered, seeing as there is no money towards either currently, you may donate a single $1 towards either and have your will be enacted. So that's a lot of power for a single $1. Don't hesitate. And also, it's for a good cause. Like, come on. You should do it. So that's all I have right now. Back to you, Slosh.
Alright, thank you. I ended up finding immediately after throwing things over to the host the Naked Bear, which is very nice. But then also found the Traveling Merchant, which is important for 2 reasons. We need to find the Traveling Merchant on 4 different tiles, and then we're also going to need to give him a briefcase that we're going to get a little bit later. And the Traveling Merchant always gives you a free tunic the first time you find him, and he just so happened to be carrying around a speed tunic. So now while I look around for the remaining NPCs, things are going to be moving much faster. Hey dude. Alright, he's going to be on the top row for the last time. We don't need to go talk to him again. I'm very glad that I have this speed tunic because the last, I think it's just 1 NPC now. No, 2. I have not found the Strange Cave. Okay, there's the Woodcutter. Where is the Strange Cave? I'm stuck. Okay. Let's go back over here. I didn't find the Strange Cave, right? I did. Wait. Okay, I completely missed that when I was on this screen earlier. When I set that warp point, I would have set that warp point earlier. Okay, what now? Library. I think I should have 11 books. Okay, I only need one more. So now that we've got at least 8 books, going to have Paige come along with us. I should call Tressa while there are no enemies on the screen. Because now I need to talk to Paige about Tressa's whereabouts. And now I'm looking for Creepy Jack and the Three Bears Cottage. I didn't find Creepy Jack accidentally, right? Okay. But, waiting to get the glasses is, like, a huge reason why you wait to do a lot of exploration shenanigans until, you've done all of the dungeons, because the glasses just speed things up so much. How am I gonna get to you? Probably should just go up here. I forgot that that screen is, like, really far from ideal. Wait. No. While the, well, Speed Tunic is great for moving fast, it can get a little bit tough to control at times. So we gave the thirsty person a water potion that we got from the traveling merchant, and then they gave us a paperclip that we gave to the office worker, who gave us a pen. Now we're going to take the pen to Creepy Jack. He's going to give us a forged property deed that we're going to give to another guy at the Bankers Guild. But now I need to try and find the Three Bears Cottage. How much money do I have? 88? I should maybe try to get a little bit more before going to the guild. Just to speed things up there. Don't want to go, like, out of my way too much to get money, but... go this way. I was about to say, do the Three Bears Cottage have any beachfront property? And they do this time around. Now, this is, I believe, the only instance of an actual glitch happening that was not intended by the devs in the run. So, you're usually supposed to go 3 screens of doing hide and seek with Goldilocks. But you can warp out of bounds using the glasses, and by moving back and forth on this first screen, you summon a bunch of Goldilockses. And the game only checks, I guess, for Goldilocks, like, leaving a screen a certain number of times instead of which screen she's leaving. So if you summon 3 Goldilockses, it's going to count as 3 screens that Goldilocks has traversed. And you can summon even more copies of Goldilocks. There was one time when I miscounted how many screen warps I did on that first screen and ended up summoning 4 Goldilockses. That loses time in 2 ways. One is the obvious, and that is you're just in the house for longer, but the second, less obvious one is the guard that comes in after you've caught Goldilocks will say his little dialogue bubble twice instead of the normal once. I really should have tried to find 5 more coins before coming here, because I need to deposit 1,000 coins, then withdraw $9.99. Try and withdraw the last one. The dude's like, you can't withdraw more than $999. That's cheating. Alright. Now, I don't need to buy the book. I'm going to buy a few healing potions. Okay. Yes, I know what marshmallows are, Paige. That's not what I meant to input. Alright. I guess I'm buying an extra healing potion. I tried to open up my map, but mashed a little bit wrong. Okay, where was the naked bear? It's gotta be fastest. I think if I go off of the palace screen, I'm going to also use this opportunity to find a secret with the axe and get the item from the woodcutter, which is the glitched log. Now things are really starting to come together. Okay, there you are. I didn't talk to the traveling merchant the last time. I need to do that. I need to give the traveling merchant the briefcase that the skeleton gave me in the guild in return for the property deed. Because the traveling merchant wants something to carry his wares around in. And by doing that, he's going to give us his shirt. I did just get that book. Okay, good. And we need to give the naked bear a shirt because the zoologist keeps looking at the bear, and the bear doesn't like that. So I'm going to just run down because I have a speed tunic, and I can do that. The bear's going to give us a bear claw. Where was the zoologist? Where was the zoologist? There. That's going to be fastest if I go from here. Screen wrap down. I'm going to give the zoologist the bear claw, and she's going to give us the binoculars. What do I still need to do? Okay, now I need to go to the strange cave. So I'm going to keep the speed tunic on for this first part, because now that we've got 12 books, Paige wants us to get 10 marshmallows. So we're going to do that by just defeating 3 marshmallows on this second wave twice and then playing the whole thing out. So like as soon as I get past the marshmallow wave this time, I'm going to be switching which items I have on and which tunic I have on. So let's do strength, let's do not the lighter, let's do the axe and the healing potions. So the I know that the fizzy, I think it's the fizzy white potion on this seed, is the healing potion because the first potion in Andres' store will always be a healing potion, which is very handy because you don't get extra hearts except for like 1 if you kill the chairman at the end of the run in perfect ending. That is if you're doing the speed run. In a casual playthrough, there are other ways. There's an equivalent to like a piece of heart from Legend of Zelda in Lenna's Inception. Oh, there's a spider in the corner. But we're not going to really pick up any of those in a speedrun because we don't know where they're going to be, and also it's slowing out of the way. Okay. So, a little thing about snails. The snail trail is almost always a poison potion. I say almost always because there will sometimes be a snail that will have a different colored trail that will have a different potion effect. Usually you don't want to find out what that other potion effect is because sometimes it can be good, other times it can be very, very catastrophically bad. This is the second to last wave. We gotta spawn that guy, get rid of that guy. And now, final wave of this strange cave is easily the most hectic. These guys are called, I believe, Pyromelians, which is also the name of a monster from Cassette Beasts. But the community calls these guys Lizrobes for, I think, obvious reasons. They're kind of not the greatest to deal with, especially in a large capacity like that. But for beating all those waves, the guy outside the strange cave gave us a trophy cup, which is an item we need. Now we're going to do a campfire with the 10 marshmallows with Paige. She's going to give us an item that we need. And now, got 7. Going to send Paige away, equip the Power of Compassion that we got earlier in the run that I just completely forgot to touch on, and now I'm gonna actually go to Dungeon 4 first. I usually don't do things in this order, but I know exactly where the secret item room is, so I'd really like to get that out of the way. Also, that was Tressa there, the girl that we had to find from earlier. She's gonna give us a, I think it's a patent? It's honestly been so long since I played this game casually that with all of the button mashing, I have forgotten. Yes! So there's the item that we were looking for. That is the old revolver. And you get one shot with it. Okay, also Hydranial's here. You get one shot with the old revolver, but it will instantly defeat any enemy that you use it on, including bosses. Also, I should say, like, Ice Drain's slight flashing lights warning for the bosses, now that we are in the boss rush. Since this is in Dungeon 4, this will be a two-phase fight. Hydranial has a very straightforward second phase. He's going to summon a bunch of skulls to throw at us. As soon as he does that, he'll try and hit us with some lava eruptions from the floor, and then we can use the power of compassion to spare him. Give him a book. Give him a nice book to read, and he'll just want to leave peacefully. But now that we've got the old revolver, things are going to go very quickly, because we don't have to look for any more of the secret item rooms. I'm going to go to Dungeon 7 next, since I just already have bombs equipped, and this is going to be Tentaluchus, is the boss of the bombs dungeon. I should have warped up one more screen. No, go this way. This way. Okay, he's not where I was expecting he was going to be. Alright, Tentaluchus, where are you? Not there. Are you over here? Yes, you are. Okay, I might have to switch off the speed tunic here because there is something very precise that I'm going to need to do. I also need to adjust how I'm sitting because I'm going to need to look a little bit closer at the screen. Perfect, I think. Yeah, that's perfect alignment. So, it's not guaranteed that this is even going to work, but most of the time it'll work. There we go. So that fast spinning drill move that Tentaluchus does, usually he bounces all around the room for a really long time, and that's slow. But if you line up the middle stripe on Lenna's hair with the middle stripe of Tentaluchus, then most of the time he just will cancel the move almost instantly. I'm not 100% sure why that happens, but it happens, and it's really handy to have. I'm very proud of how consistently I'm able to line that up very quickly, even with Speed Tunic and the increased movement speed. That is a technique that I'm probably, out of all of the techniques in this game, that's probably the one that I'm best at. Which makes me very happy that I was able to show that off and hit that very fast in this marathon. So Prince Daniel's going to call us, say, you can use the power of compassion to spare bosses, even though we already know that. This is going to be Krabatin. Okay, dungeon number 6. I still need to go to D8. I need to remember that. Usually by now I've already fought the boss in dungeon 8, so it's usually not something on my mind. Alright. Now we've got Archangel Krabatin, Doomsday Crab. So we need the bow for this one. This is probably, in my opinion, the scariest two-phase fight. His first phase is laughably easy, like the easiest first phase of any of the bosses in my personal opinion. His second phase, he means business. For a couple reasons. One, it's one of the longer two-phase fighs, and two, he just really likes to juke you when you're least expecting it in this phase. Alright, fortunately he's not going to do that this time for the first hit. We need to hit him one more time, and then he's going to do his final attack, and we're going to spare him then. So that should be coming up. Speed Tunic makes it harder for him to pull jukes off, but he pulled it off there. I need to use a healing potion because I am about to die. The power of Krabatin has been shown off in the marathon. There was one time when you just sat there juking me like 3 or 4 times in a row, and I lost a minute to this fight. That's why this fight I deem as like the scariest fight in the run if you have a 2-phase Krabatin. Alright, so now I've done dungeons 4, 7, 6. So dungeon 5 will be Cat Seal. Really messed up the screen wrap. Lost a little bit of time to that. Alright, let's see. Is the kitty on the top row? I'm not actually... Oh, hey, there's the buoy. I'm not actually sure which layout I have. Okay. Let's try this row. Which layout is this? Usually I can tell which layout I have fairly easily, but not this time. This layout's a little bit trickier to get a handle of. Okay. Also, I'm pretty sure that this is not the usual spot for the boss to be in on this layout. There's like, each layout has like a specific spot that the bosses are more common to appear in, but it's not guaranteed that they'll be there. And this layout's throwing me for a little bit of a loop here. We're going to do this jump over the monitor one more time now. And then if there are any gamers in the chat, you might recognize the pattern that's going to be on Cat Seal's monitor. That we have to hit the joystick in that order to deal damage. But of course we are not going to do the 8th hit, as we are going to spare Cat Seal. And left, right, left, and spare. That was very lucky joystick placement on that second phase. That was very like clustered spots, which meant a lot less just idle movement time. Okay. I am going to screen wrap over here and then just loop into the boss, Archangel Hadasaya, Vampire Magician. This is a very long fight. We're going to have to do a bunch of different magic tricks in this first phase, and then we're going to have to do them all a second time. So, honestly, this fight would be a great time for any messages that the host might have before the end of the run.
Fantastic, thank you so much. And now we don't have much movement in terms of things happening, but I do have many things to talk about. Because, obviously, Marathon is slowly approaching the end, so why not tell you what's coming up? We do have, up next, Keep on 1-Up with Love 3, and then we're gonna have Frith on Clone Hero, so you don't want to miss that, so please stay tuned as long as the marathon goes. And just a quick reminder that we are encouraging the Samaritans, which is a charity that helps for suicide prevention, which is very important. And not only can you contact the Samaritans through their helpline, but you can also contact them by email, send a physical letter, use their new online chat feature, or get advice through their self-help app. We are so thankful that they exist, and this is why we help them keep going and keep running and keep helping so many people. So that is pretty much all I have to say right now. Back to you.
This is gonna be a little bit of an awkward second phase. So, second phase of Hadasaya. I am at like 1.5 hearts, I should be fine. Second phase of Hadasaya, you need to get 2 hits in before you can use the power of compassion, but every time she lets out that huge scream and drops a bunch of bats from the ceiling on you, you are thrown against the wall. Like, you cannot move off of the wall, no matter how hard you try. So whenever she shows up in the, like, middle of the room for the final hit, that's always a little bit, not what you want to see. A little bit not what you want to see. Yeah, that's the thing I just said. Now, we are, I think there are only the one-phase fights left, which is nice. So this is Sandolphin. This is probably the one boss more than any other that can be either one or two phases that you really want to see one phase. Because her second phase is a very long, sort of like almost bullet hell-like auto-scroller. You really get to hear a lot more of the second phase boss music, which is a plus. But the minus is it's very long and can get out of hand very fast. Now it should just be 2 more fights. Let's go over here. I'm going to use a healing potion real quick to get myself back up to full. And now this layout, usually the boss is on this top row. There we go. Now we got the Giver of Unwanted Gifts, Archangel Santaquil. This is the guy that, if you have a 2-phase fight, like, as soon as the second phase starts, you can spare him. In, like, Sacrifice Ending, when you'd actually defeat him. I'm pretty sure the second phase takes literally 1 hit. But since this is 1 phase, perfect ending, we can actually spare him fairly early. Because waiting for that final hit of the first phase is actually a decent amount of time. Now we've got, I believe, 1 more boss before the sort of like flurry of final bosses. Got the Knight of Death, Archangel Azrael. This is a very straightforward fight, just sort of poke, and then poke again, and then poke 1 more time, and then spare. Not gonna be that straightforward this time. My spacing was just a tad bit off. I'm going to throw the binoculars over to her. Grab the final piece to get the power of truth. Now we have the powers of fortitude, truth, and compassion. And there's 1 more that we need to get. I should put the axe on. And that is the power of wealth, which the chairman has. So we're gonna run over to the castle, or palace, sorry. I should put on the strength tunic to speed this up. We're going to take the power of wealth from him. And I am going to put the speed tunic back on. I'm going to opt to save here just in case the game decides to crash, which is very, very uncommon. I've played this game for over 100 hours, and I think it's crashed exactly 1 time, but it was during a speedrun, so I want to save right before the final bosses. So, this is Chairman Mammon / Gammon, capitalist pig. He's got a lovely set of moves. We're going to skip the move where he throws a bunch of cash cows at you. Literally, they are cows made out of cash. Then he's going to charge at us. We're going to play some rich man's volley and then beat him up. And repeat this a few times. But the chairman is a very bad guy. He would not donate to charity. So, you know, you don't want to be like the chairman. You know, you want to donate to charity. That's actually something that Lenna says to him. Because, little slight story spoiler, Lenna is actually the mother of the Archangels. She got turned into a human by the power of 8 Fridge, which is that thing that at the start of the run fell on top of Lance and killed him. It's the thing that kept showing up in all of the item rooms in all of the dungeons. 8 Fridge was created by Delvin. So using 8 Fridge's power, Delvin can turn into an Archangel, and he turned Lenna into a human. Lenna originally hired the chairman to do some bad stuff that he ended up actually doing. But then Lenna was like, no, if you actually want to do something that I want you to do, then you donate your money to charity and stuff like that. Anyway, we used the old revolver on Delvin to just skip the entire fight. That is a very long fight, at least 2 minutes, under normal circumstances. But now, because we have spared all of the Archangels, Azrael and Tentaluchis are going to run on over to stop Lenna from blowing the dust out of the cartridge. And now we are in Dungeon 9, the Archangel School. And, Ice Strain warning. Also, flashing lights, because this fight is very visually happening. Very long fight, very cool fight, and might have my favorite music track in the entire game. So we need the walls to close in on us in this first phase, and then we're going to run up, and we are going to try to spare the Elder. The Elder may have been dead at the start of the run, but we can spare him in the 8 Fridge fight. Now we need to unequip all of the items that can deal damage to get through that phase. Lance is going to be back. Going to hit him once, twice, 3 times, and spare him. Sparing Lance is kind of luck-based, because sometimes you'll hit him a certain number of times and then stop trying to hit him, and he won't care and he'll just die anyways, which is never ideal. I always love to play Perfect Ending where I spare both the Elder and Lance, because then it's the happiest ending possible. Now we're going to blow up Lance, have Lenna get run over by 8 Fridge, and then time is going to be in just a moment when I pull the pizza out of the fridge, and time. That, I think, is the fastest run of Perfect Ending I have had since returning to the game about a month or 2 ago. I'm very happy with how that went. Especially with the overworld kind of trolling me at the start of the run. That was a very good second half of the run. The Prince is making pizza available to everyone, no matter how many limbs they have. And it's a happy ending. The Prince and Lance are together. Lenna and Paige are together. Tentaluchis and his pizza are together. Everyone's happy. Yeah. Shoutouts to the people in the credits. Very small team made this game, but it is... I'm so glad that that team made this game, because this is legitimately one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely adore it. Real quick, before hopping off, I want to give a few shoutouts. First of all, huge shoutouts to Bin Studio for making this game, and also for making Cassette Beasts. They made both. And absolutely phenomenal games that I have put a lot of time into, because they're just so much fun. Shoutouts to the Lenna's Inception speedrunning community for being very, very cool, and very encouraging. And, of course, shoutouts to Indiethon for having me for both Cassette Beasts and Lenna's Inception. I am so glad that I was able to show these games off. Shameless plug, if you enjoyed these runs, I occasionally stream these, and I also stream a lot of Sonic stuff over at twitch.tv//SloshW. And yeah, I believe that is everything for me.
Well, thank you so much, Slosh, for your double feature. Those were both amazing runs. Up next on Indiethon, we will have Heap on Wanna, the amazing one. Please do not move, do not go anywhere. We will be right back after this short intermission. Bye!